Hello and welcome to the Board Game Hunt. Today we're doing a playthrough of House of Danger.
Yeah, this is a choose your own adventure game. I'm guessing it's the first in the series, called the House of Danger. I don't know if you remember the old books and green covers when I was younger, where you'd read through different paragraphs and you make choices and it sends you to different passages. This looks to be very much like that. I've not played it before, I've just had a quick read through of the menu, and it says to start with, we're going to flip this board over and we're going to look at this for 2 minutes and try and find hints or clues as to how our adventure's going to carry on from there.
What?
So, the object of the game says you're an aspiring detective and psychic investigator. For weeks you've experienced recurring nightmares that you sense might be important. Your mission is to get to the bottom of these visions. Obviously this is going to be spoiler filled. Because, I mean, it's a story and there are multiple routes and multiple endings as far as I know, but you are going to get spoilers if you're watching this play through. We might just do one chapter, we might do several, we might go all the way, we'll see how things go and figure it out as we go along. So we're going to look at this for 2 minutes and try and pick up any clues that might be in here that might be interesting, assuming as you can see.
The sword.
So there's a blurry guy up here in an apron, looks rather gruesome.
Sword.
Yeah, sword in the middle. This is like netting, almost like a spider's web.
Or scoop.
Yeah, there's goo, there's speakers in the wall.
There's some lights and a safe thing there.
There's a red frog.
There's a safe.
Safe? That's just a...
Lock for a safe.
Where?
Because look, that bit, then all the dots on the outside.
Oh, you're talking about the archway through?
Yeah.
It looks like a dial, because there's 3 lights. That one's lit up, and that's what that arrow's pointing to. So, try not to shake on the table, Tice, the camera's sitting on the table.
Is that a door in the bin?
We've got a spiral being formed here in the water. Boxes, there's all sorts of bits and bobs, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, okay. Actually, they're not speakers, they're locks for the lockers.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I reckon we've probably had a couple of minutes there.
Oh, with crystal.
So we're going to flip this back over. And then we've got a danger meter in the middle.
Oh, danger?
Yeah. Whenever we do a challenge, we have to roll a number that's equal to or higher than the number on the danger meter. And we've got a psychic scale, which is going to help us get premonitions and things like that. Okay. So that's all set up. We've also got 2 items of inventory to start with. We've got a pocket knife, which is going to add 1 to our total on green challenges. Whatever that green symbol means, it's a fighting challenge.
Oh.
And we've got a bottle of water that we can discard at any time to lower the danger meter by 3.
Ooh!
Time. Don't lean on the table, please. You're shaking the camera. Okay? So, that's it, we're all good to go. So, it says, just read the first story card. Okay, so let's zoom back.
Is that the story of this?
No, these are clues and things. So this, I'm going to read the first one because it's quite long. There is going to be a lot of reading and text because we are playing through a story essentially. So, yeah. Here we go. So, chapter 1, The Grounds. It's a Tuesday morning in late June and you wake up in a cold sweat. The nightmares came again last night. Even though you're an aspiring detective and psychic investigator, you haven't been able to make sense of the haunting dreams you've had these past few weeks. In your dreams, you keep seeing the same spooky house. You're still shivering under the covers when you hear the phone ring downstairs in your basement. Downstairs in your basement, where you have your combination office and research laboratory. You dash down to the lab to answer it. I need, a weak voice says when you pick up the receiver. I need your help. You hear a loud click and the phone goes dead. But you were prepared. While the caller was talking, you activated your high-speed telephone tracing device. It instantly displays the caller's number, 555-7259. You call back the number right away, but there's no answer. After consulting the tall stack of reverse phone books behind your desk, you're disappointed to learn the number is unlisted. You sense that the phone call is somehow related to your nightmares. Later, while at the Hedgebrook police station to return a night scope you borrowed for a recent stakeout, you describe the mysterious phone call and your recurring dreams to your friend, Sergeant Morrison. That call does sound strange, he says. We'll look into it. And about that house in your dreams, the voice says from the hallway. I wonder if you're dreaming about the Marsden house out on Hedgebrook Road. Detective Murphy sticks his moustache face in the room. Modern house, ornate gate. That sounds like the Marsden place, all right, says Sergeant Morrison. Strange things are reported to happen out there. Detective Murphy takes a puff on his pipe. That place is haunted, he says. I know it sounds unprofessional, but I've had a file on the Marsden house for years, and I'm sure of it. He waves a folder in front of your eyes, and a phone number written on the front jumps out at you. It matches the one from your mysterious phone call. So the call is related to your nightmares. Your psychic sense were right. Draw clue 26 to discover your goal. So we're going to go through and pull out
26.
clue 26. So this is going to have a goal on it. So chapter 1 goal is get inside the Marsden house. So we'll put that up there as a reminder. So we've just got to get in the house. Okay, back at home you grab a bottle of water and your trusty pocket knife, preparing for a new investigation. So there's a water and pocket knife. Half an hour later you stand before the Marsden residence, which appears exactly as it did in your nightmares. The house's futuristic look is a strange contrast to the antiqued appearance of the stone wall and the wrought iron gate, which is locked shut and wrapped in steel chains. Even though the air is balmy, a chill travels down your spine. The gathering clouds on the horizon hint at a brewing thunderstorm. Okay, so here comes our first choice. Let's just check. No one's messaging. No, we're fine. So, if you search the wall for a way in, go to story card 13. If you climb the gate, go to story card 7.
Climb the gate?
You think we should climb the gate?
Yeah, easy way to get in.
Any reason?
Just easy way to get in, and what's the chance of finding something in the wall?
Okay, so you want to climb the gate. So we're going to discard those. Numbers up that way. And we're going to draw story card, what was it, 7? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give this one to you.
I have to read it.
Yep.
You pull yourself over a rustling gate and land with a crunch on the gravel.
Hang on. What's a rustling gate?
Rusting gate.
Rusting, that sounds more like it.
And land with a crunch on the gravel driveway leading towards the house. But before you can survey your surroundings, you hear a
Shall I read it? Right, you pull yourself over the rusting gate and land with a crunch on the gravel driveway leading towards the house. But before you can survey your surroundings, you hear a guttural sound coming from your left. You encounter a shadowy, hunched-over figure emerging from the darkened doorway of a decrepit gatehouse. You can just barely make out eyes and white fangs dripping with saliva. The figure crouches as if to spring forward at any moment. Who's there? You stammer. Suddenly the creature lunges at you, snarling. You spot a guardhouse not far away. If you can get past the creature, you might be able to hide there. Or perhaps you should turn and flee up the driveway towards the main house. Optional challenge.
Ooh.
So we've got a challenge now. And it's optional, so we can choose whether or not we want to do it. We can fight the creature or not.
Something tells me I want to fight it, but what do you think?
Don't know. It's up to you.
I want to fight it.
You want to fight it, do you?
It's only a
Right.
3.
Okay, so yeah, so with challenges, we're going to roll the dice and we've got to roll this number or higher. Plus, we can also equip one piece of equipment in here. Now, it is a fighting challenge.
You have a 75% chance.
So this zoom in so you can see. Right, so yeah, it's a fighting challenge. It's got the green symbol. So we're going to use our pocket knife with the green symbol, which adds 1 to our score. So if we roll a 2, we'd roll it'd add 1 to make 3, and we'll win the challenge. Yeah. However, if we roll a 1 at any time on a challenge, you automatically fail, regardless of what equipment you've got.
Oh.
You wanting to do the challenge?
2. So we've got 75% chance of winning.
Just
We win.
right. So Toes rolled a 5. Plus 1 means 6, which is obviously higher than 3. So we've won the challenge. So we're going to draw clue 10.
Oh, we got a clue.
Right. So clue 10 says. Oh, there's a bit on it. Oh no. Okay, there's a bit to read here. It's probably unwise to engage such a savage beast in combat, but danger is your middle name.
Is it? Okay.
You land a few quick jabs on the creature before it can react, and then you throw it to the ground. You stand there for a moment, your confidence high. Then the creature leaps to its feet and rushes you. You manage to win round 1, but you're in no hurry to start round 2. So you race for the shadows beside a big boulder before the creature can get its hand on you. Draw clue 25.
So make me draw clues.
Oh, we found some high-powered binoculars. You find a pair of binoculars in the shadows. With the creature on the loose, you can't hide here forever, so you run to the guardhouse. Keep this item and go to story card 19.
Got some binoculars. Also, sight things to get +2 sight challenges.
So, perception.
Yeah.
So, we'll have a perception challenge. It's now 2 on the
Help
side. That goes
toss.
to 19.
Daddy. Help toss.
Right.
Try read.
Sorry? Wait, you want to try again?
Yeah.
Okay, you can try it.
You are lucky to escape the creature, but you know it's still out there somewhere. You run into the old guardhouse, which is a small room, several TV monitors flashing back black and white images of various places on the estate grounds. Some monitors are broken, and shards of glass were scattered across a desk and the wood floors. A hefty book, Tilted History of Nottingham County, is lying on the desk. Curious, you look up the name Marston Henry in the index. Sure enough, it references an entry on page 93. Your heart races as you turn to read this bio. Henry Marston was born in 1839, died in 1887. General in the Union Army during the Civil War. Severely wounded severely wounded at the Battle of Shiloh in 1862, appointed to the warden of Hedge Brook prison in 1880, rumoured to be killed in the prisoner riot fire in 1887. Not a popular guy, you think the desk, 3 drawers inside a wood, through the window through...
I didn't understand a word of that.
Yeah, I know. It's that bit.
Right, so it's a bit of history. He's been in prison. He was rumoured to be killed, but yeah, not a popular guy. The desk has 3 drawers. Maybe there's something useful inside. A wooden ladder leads up a hatch in the roof. Through a window filled with cobwebs, you can see an open field that leads to the manor's front door. You consider what to do next. So we've got an optional challenge. We can search the desk drawers if we want to.
Yeah.
It's going to use perception. Yeah. So we're going to use our binoculars, yeah?
Yeah. Unless we roll 1, we're guaranteed.
Okay, let's see. Roll the dice.
We win.
Roll 5, plus 2 is 7, which is higher than 3. So we are going to draw clue 4.
Oh, yay! A clue.
Okay. Find a battery in the drawer. It could power a flashlight or a taser. Or who knows what else.
Oh,
Okay.
a battery.
Right, so if we climb the ladder to the hatch in the roof, or if we crawl through the window and run for the front door of the house. What do you reckon? So we can climb the ladder to the hatch in the roof, or we can crawl through the window and run for the front door of the house.
Running seems dangerous.
So we'll climb the ladder, go to the hatch in the roof. So we'll start story card 27 out there.
I'll look for it.
27. Okay. You scramble up the ladder through the hatch and onto the guardhouse. Guardhouse's decaying tile roof. It seems to be on the verge of collapsing, but you find a spot that you are reasonably sure won't cave in when you put your weight on it. Across the dangerously unstable roof, from where you crouch uneasily, you can see a pile of construction materials, probably left over by contractors working on the roof. Among the material is a first aid kit, but navigating the length of the roof to reach it will be perilous. One wrong step and you could stumble off the roof into a ditch you see below. Near you is a thick vine that you could climb down to reach a courtyard. And not too far from you is a long board someone has laid between the roof and the nearby greenhouse, which seems to be sturdier than the guardhouse. So, right, optional challenge. Get to the first aid kit.
What skill?
This one is dexterity, which is an orange symbol.
But what happens if we lose it?
Sorry?
What happens if we lose if we choose it?
So, if you win, you get a clue.
Yeah.
If we lose, the danger meter goes up.
Bubble how many?
And we go to a different story card. By 2.
Do you think we should do it?
Don't know.
You choose.
First aid kit might be handy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Do it.
Should we go for it?
I've rolled 5 every time, so...
Yeah, don't roll a 1. Oh, we automatically failed, so the danger meter is going to get raised by 2.
No!
And we have to go to story card 26.
No!
Oh dear, oh dear.
We fell into a ditch.
Right. You land in the ditch, splashing in shallow, frigid water. At this point, you notice a large grate ahead of you, which partially blocks the entrance to a dark cement culvert that the water flows into. If you bent over, you could walk under the lower rim of the grate and enter the culvert. You then see a small piece of paper drifting by you in the water. You might be able to grab it if you act fast. So option challenge, do we try and grab the paper? So there's another thing as well. If we roll a 1 when we're using some of our equipment, we also lose the equipment.
Do we?
Yes.
Should we do it? We've got 2, so if one's the only thing that can stop us.
Yeah.
So...
Got it. So we won that one. So we'll draw clue 19. Oh, that was easy to find. So we've got a hedge maze map.
Ooh.
The paper looks like a map to the hedge maze. Your psychic senses tell you this is an important item. Keep this item, move forward 1 space on the psychic scale,
Yay.
and finish story card 26.
What's a psychic scale?
What's this scale on the outside?
What does that mean?
Don't know. Right. Along the side of a ditch is a dusty path leading toward what appears to be an elaborate hedge maze. If you enter the culvert, go to story card 28. If you enter the hedge maze, go to story card 12.
We have a map for the...
Yeah, well, given we've got a map, we probably should go for the maze, shouldn't we? So we're going to go for...
Don't tell me there's going to be creatures due to the front cover.
We're going to go for number 12.
Daddy.
Sorry? Don't worry about that. It's just an illustration. Right. The hedge maze is massive. Its thick hedge walls are twice as tall as you, but they don't seem stable enough to climb. So you'll have to solve this labyrinth the old-fashioned way. You take a deep breath to steady your nerves and head through the maze's entrance. Right, so we've got an illustration of the maze. We're going in, we're going to turn left or right.
Left.
You think we're going to go left here?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Clue 9.
So, whoa, slow down. So you're navigating, are you?
Yeah, but map.
Okay, so... 9. It says, you turn left and follow a path deeper into the maze. You feel like you're going in the right direction.
I know we're going in the right
Do
direction.
you go left or right?
So if we came in from this angle, we want to go right.
You sure?
Yes.
Yeah, so clue 12. You feel like you might be getting close to the end of the maze.
I know we are.
Left or right?
So if we're going left.
Go left, yeah?
Yeah.
Number 13, so I'm lucky for some.
Same dingo.
Finally you see it, the end of the maze. Go to story card 18.
Maps always work. Daddy.
Yeah, it certainly seemed to be helpful getting the map, didn't it?
Yeah. So failing that skill check wasn't so bad.
Right. You finally come to the end of the hedge maze. It exits towards a pool house. A short stone pedestal stands in front of you with a metal lockbox on top. Perhaps someone wants to reward you for navigating that cursed maze, though the whole thing does seem suspicious. Looking toward the pool house, you see its door is barely hanging from its hinges. There is also a gate that leads, you assume, directly to the pool. Free action. To see if the lockbox is open, draw clue 3.
Okay, so go draw clue 3, see if it's open.
So that's weird. Okay. Truck key. Not only is the lockbox open, but inside you find a key to a truck. Your psychic senses tell you this is an important item. Keep this item and move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale.
We're level 2!
Finish story card 18.
I guess the psychic track It tells you if you can do it or not.
Let's organise these a bit. These ones are for skill tests.
We don't
I'll
need
put
that
those ones over there.
Don't need it. We might do actually from the way back.
Yeah, I'll keep that for now. We'll see. Right, so these are done. Right, so finish card 18. Right, so are we going to go and explore the pool house, or are we going to go through the gate to check out the pool?
Explore the pool house. There's obviously going to be something there.
The pool house, yeah? So card 11.
There's going to be something there, surely.
Okay. You can tell that the pool house was once quite luxurious. It contains half a dozen private rooms with showers, as well as an ornate mahogany bar in the common area. It must have been fun to hang out in this place in its glory days. Those thoughts fade as the sounds of a disturbance erupt from the top of a gazebo in the distance. Now you can hear a lone violin playing a soothing melody. Do we investigate the gazebo, or do we go towards the sound of the violin?
This gazebo is obviously something at the violin.
The gazebo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what card 9.
Who'd want to go to a noise? That's what they all do in horror films. Always ends badly.
Yeah, but someone's got to be playing the violin, surely.
I know. Probably a monster.
You chose the gazebo. You sprint to the gazebo, practically pushed along by the winds that are picking up. A light sprinkling of rain splatters the ground as you run. You make it to the shelter of the structure, and the mayhem occurring above you on the roof increases in intensity. Who is up there, and what are they doing, you wonder? You notice a driveway about 20 feet away. If you're level 2 or higher on the psychic scale, gain clue 27.
Thank you, Truck Keys.
It's
A part of a map.
yeah, it's a part of an image. Let's zoom in so you can see.
Let's have a look at it.
And it looks to me like it's perhaps that way. It does look like it might be part of a door with a handle and a lock or something.
Yeah, he's got a key and
Possibly.
a handle.
Oh no, it's a key. Oh no, look, there we go. That way up. It's a door,
With a key.
isn't it?
But it's just the Truck Keys.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably that way up. So, there we go. Okay, so that's another clue. Right. So blah, 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 blah. If you climb to the top of the gazebo or run to the driveway,
Up on top of the gazebo?
what were the noises?
No.
We've got truck keys. I wonder if the driveway's a good place to go.
Yeah.
See if we find a truck. Well, I'm not sure that we're going to need a truck at this point, but
We could have a truck.
what do you reckon?
Yeah, story card 30.
No.
I want to read this next one.
No.
Please.
We can try one more, but we've already found. Oh, hello. No, that's it, look. Chapter 1, goal achieved.
Yay.
You appear in a driveway which leads you to the mansion's entrance. On the door is a plaque that reads Marsden and a large crystal door knocker which seems newer than everything else on the front of the building. You knock loudly many times, but there is no answer. The storm is really picking up now. You try the doorknob and are surprised to find that the door is unlocked. You've been lucky enough so far, but you wonder if you've missed something. Before you enter the house, you look back. You can see a few clear paths. One leads to toward a statuary, another to a small cemetery. 2 more paths stretch out towards a watery ditch with a gate and the house's luxurious pool. You could go back to explore if you want. So this is a thing at the end of when you've achieved your goal. It gives you the option to return to other points in the story to explore other things if you want to. This says there are items in this chapter that will be useful later in the story. You can take a risk and go back for any you missed by following the choices below. If you head to the statuary, raise the danger meter by 2. And if you go to the cemetery, raise it by 2 as well.
No.
So yeah, we can go to any of these places and raise by 2, but then we've got to find our way back to the end again.
Nah.
So the pool we already did, didn't we? Did we go to the pool?
Yeah, but to increase the danger meter was going to be very dangerous.
And the ditch we did.
Yeah.
So the cemetery and the statuary we've not been to.
Oh,
We're
no.
not going to, no?
Because if you increase it by 2, it's going to be hard to 4. It's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what I carry on. Right, okay, so that is chapter 1 done. So now
Already?
we get rid of, we keep all this stuff here that we've got, but these go away, clues and cards from chapter 1 go away, and then we'll get the next set. We get the Yeah, so chapter 2.
So up to clue 28.
And chapter 2. So we put the cover back on top.
This one's not
Yeah,
as easy
wasn't
as
it?
that. That ain't as easy as that.
This one doesn't want to open. Oh, there we go. It's a split in the top. Look.
Why didn't see that?
Right. Okay, so that was the end of chapter 1. And we're now to chapter 2. If you're thinking about getting the game, you like the look of it, it'd probably be a good idea to switch off now.
Yeah.
Are we going to carry on?
Do whatever you want. I want to carry on.
How long have we been going for? I don't know what time we started. What's that saying? Check settings. Okay. We've been going for 25 minutes.
Want to go again?
So, I don't know.
I do.
You want to carry on, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, chapter 2, the mansion.
Oh.
Okay, so the mansion. You made it. You're inside the Marsden house, the cursed edifice that has haunted your nightmares for weeks. Your trek through the mansion's grounds has left you with far more questions than answers, to the point where you have to wonder if the smart move would be to turn around right now and forget you ever came to this infernal place. You're not a quitter, though. You're an aspiring detective and psychic investigator. You won't give up this case until you find out why a spooky futuristic mansion you'd never seen before has somehow found its way into your dreams. And why you got a call from the house this morning. You're standing in a grand foyer. Its modern decor is elegant in its minimalism. Suddenly, a man in a delivery uniform bursts through a set of tall double doors screaming. "Help! Help! They're after me!" the man cries. He rushes towards you, but suddenly drops to the ground as if he's been hit by an invisible hammer. You dash to his side and hear his breath coming in short gasps that sound almost like sobs. He gives a terrible shriek and lies still. This man has been frightened to death, you think. Just then, he inhales sharply, jumps to his feet and bolts past you out of the house. You breathe a deep sigh of relief, so not quite to death. Something falls from his clothing as he makes his exit and it hits the floor, tinkling. You kneel down to inspect the object and discover that it's a small dart, the kind that might have come from a blowgun. Whatever this man was afraid of, his fear seems to have been justified. Just how dangerous is this house? As your thoughts swirl, a loud buzzing noise erupts from somewhere beneath your feet, shaking the floor. The noise is so loud it drowns out the gathering storm outside. Just as quickly as it came, the noise stops. It sure sounds like something weird is happening beneath the manor. You're willing to bet that, whatever is happening in this place, the answers await you down there. Draw clue 57 to discover our goal.
Why do we have to go to the basement?
57 says, find access to the basement.
What? That's what I said. Why do you have to go to the basement?
You don't see any way to a lower level from the foyer. Rather, a sweeping stairway leads upstairs, while the double doors that the frightened man ran through head off to your right, and the smaller door, slightly ajar, leads in the opposite direction. So, I can hear in the background a baby, and Kelly upstairs might be having a few issues, so I think we're going to stop there.
Okay.
We'll probably carry on a bit later ourselves, but yeah, hopefully it's given you an idea of the game. We've not gone the whole way through, so there's still 4 chapters you've not seen. So yeah, it's quite fun so far. It's just like the old books where you're reading through and reading the story and seeing what comes out. There is a lot of text on the cards, obviously, which tell the story as you go. But yeah, there we go. Hopefully you've found that a bit interesting, and if you're curious about it, then maybe it's made your mind up whether or not you think it might be a good one. But yeah, I do like the way we've got clues and items that are going to come and help us later on as well. And yeah, we've got our psychic ability up a bit. I'd imagine when we play on that, our danger level is finally going to start rising.
Yeah.
Can't stay that easy all the way through. But yeah, there we go. So, yeah, if you like the video, like the look of it, let us know. Yeah. Comments are always welcome, as well as giving us a like. And don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.